Hiya, this is video number 2. Last week's video was showing you how to strip the carbs down from the CB500 carbs. This week's video is how to clean them and rebuild them. Next week's video is how to put them onto the gantry, synchronize them and then put them back on the bike. And then finally all 3 videos will be joined together to make one video which shows you the complete job right from the very beginning, ready to be put back onto the bike. Cleaning phase. Well, there's plenty of ways to clean things. One of the things I do, I normally immerse it in a fluid, normally for a day or so, and then I just give it a bit of a clean off with a toothbrush like this. Give it a clean off with a toothbrush to get the heavy stuff off. I do this a couple of times using cleaner stuff each time in order to get a good finish, and then eventually stick it in the ultrasonic cleaner to give it the final sort of going over. Cleaning's one of those things that the more you do, the better the result. If you don't clean properly, then you won't get such a good result. If you spend ages cleaning, you're not getting a good result. So it's arduous, it's a bit boring, but it relates back to the finish you'll get when you finish the job. Then after a morning of cleaning, all the bits and pieces have been cleaned and inspected. Not finished yet, because there's still some things to be done. Obviously I've got a kit which is going to eliminate quite a few of the bits and pieces, but a couple of bits there that are going to be replated, and then once they're done, the entire carb can be rebuilt. That there's going to be repolished. It's just been cleaned, now it's going to be polished. Carburetor's nice with new bolts. But yeah, we're going to do that to all 4 carbs, plate all the bits, get everything ready, and then we're going to go into the rebuild. When removing this, undo these 2 screws gently. Make a note of which way round this goes. The slot on here faces the arm. Now this won't come off. It won't come off. You have to turn it a quarter of a turn, and then it will come off. That little tang there goes in the groove, and then you have to rotate it, and then it is captive. So you turn it until that little tang's in the groove, then you come up. Once that's removed, you can then take out the needle. It's imperative that you look at what hole the needle clip is in and check that against specifications. Once everything's been checked, make sure the needle has got the circlip in the correct groove. Drop the needle into position. Then put that little tang in the groove and then rotate that until the two little holes are lined for the screws, and then you put the screws in, do them up, and then that's ready for reinstallation. The rebuild begins. The most important thing is to arrange all of the bits and pieces that you're going to need close to hand, so that when you start work you aren't going to be compromised looking for things. Now what we're going to do now is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to refit the emulsion tube. Now I like to use the original emulsion tube because if it's in good condition, I don't see any reason why you can't use it. Make sure you clean it efficiently and check it. If there's any issues, then put a new one in. But I much prefer to use the old one. Drop the emulsion tube in. Then the main jet goes in. The main jet goes on top. And on these carburetors, it pushes in, retained by the O-ring. And then this, in a second, goes over to keep it in position. These carburetors, in my opinion, are a bit primitive. The way they're built is a bit primitive. But, you know, they are about 45 years old, so I suppose we can let them go at that. Pilot jet. Once again, the pilot jet is being fully cleaned, blown out, and is in absolutely first class condition. If it's not, then I'd use a new one. But because it's in good condition and it's cleaned up okay, it's going to be kept in position. So do that up so that it's nice and tight, not over tight, but it's tight, so it's not going to become loose. The next thing that I always fit new, always, is the float valve. Always put a new float valve in, because even if the old one looks okay, if there's a new one available, I would fit it, because I just think that it's a good idea. Float valve kit. I'm going to put this in because it's brand new. I much prefer to have a brand new float valve. This just pushes into the carburetor and is then retained by this little bracket and a screw. Do that up. So that now that is retained. So the next thing is to fit the float and to check the float height. So push the float pin in nice and gently, and now we need to check the float height. The float height on these carburetors is 22 mil. Set my vernier up to 22 mil, then I make sure that the height of the float is 22 mil. It's nowhere near. So I need to adjust this until it's perfect. So a little bit of tampering with that bracket, or that tang there. That little tang needs to be bent in order to change the height of the float. Now it's miles too high, so I need to bend that tang up so that the float drops down lower. It's 22 mil that it's got to be. So I can bend that tang up very slightly and then measure it again. Still too high. Bend it up a little bit more. Here's an issue I've not had before. That side of the float is lower than that side. This float is distorted. That's weird, isn't it? It's bent. So I've got to make sure that the float is the same height on the same side, on each side. 22 mil. 22 mil. So yeah, So setting the float height is important because that float was bent. So now I've straightened that float out, it's in a much better position and it's accurate, and the float level is accurate. So once the float height has been checked and you're happy with it, then you fit this keep. This slides over the main jet and keeps it in position. It's retained by those two pins there that go on that web. So very primitive design, very primitive when you consider how carburetors used to be built. I mean, I don't think this is a particularly I don't think this whole carburetor is that good with design. I think the design is very archaic. But right, the next thing to do, before you fit the float chamber, what I always do, I fill the float chamber with fuel above this level here, where this overflow pipe joins the body, because there has been some that leak there. So if you fill the chamber up with fuel, then you can check to make sure that no fuel escapes out of any of the drains. If it comes out of there, then it could be that drain tube is leaking there, in which case then it needs either repairing or replacing. So the next thing I'm going to do, fill the float chamber up with fuel to make sure it's okay. If it's okay, I'm going to fit the float chamber into position. Float chamber fuel test passed, no problems at all. Lower the float chamber into position and fit the new screws. There you go then. So that's the bottom half of the carburetor nicely built up. So the next thing we're going to do is going to install the air valve. Got a nice new air valve, comes with the kit, which I am going to use. I always use a new air valve. If there's an air valve in the kit, I use it. Obviously most air valves have a washer and a rubber O-ring. This one doesn't. It's just an air valve and a spring. So make sure that you fit it so the spring stays in position. Screw that gently into position. And what I would do now is I screw that so that it's right the way down. Nice and gently, don't go mad. Just screw it until it stops. That's it, it's stopped there. It's stopped there. So now come back 1¼ turns. That is its basic setting, ready to be fitted. Obviously the final adjustments will be done once the carb's running. Now we're going to reinstall the needle and slide. So we very carefully slide that into here, making sure that it enters the needle or the emulsion tube, and there is a location on the wall which locates the slide. Make sure the slide is perfectly smooth. That way then we know that it's in good condition. Me personally, I always give it a little bit of WD as well, just to help it with its initial operation. It's operating perfectly. Now the next thing we need to fit is the upper arm. All the felt seal is fitted in there nice and carefully. Then the little nylon bush that goes in there, that then allows you to fit the arm, making sure that you fit this little bush and then get that lined up with the hole so that then you can put the screw and tab washer into position. So just nip that up. Make sure it all works okay. If it works okay, re-tab it. And then you're ready to put the top on. 2 new screws, all nipped up. Perfect. Perfect. There you go. And everything now except for the choke plate. We're going to put the choke arm and plate on, and then this carburetor is finished, and then it can be joined with its brother to make a nice pair. That video was the cleaning and rebuilding video. That's the video literally just showing you the rebuild and the cleaning of the CB500 carbs. The video last week was the strip down video, and next week we're going to have the final rebuild and the synchronization. All 3 videos will then be joined together in a few weeks after, and you'll be able to watch the entire lot if you want to as one video. So I hope you found that useful, and see you soon. Take care and bye.